Welcome to the Art Beat, where creativity pulses and the heart of local art comes alive. For today's show, you're going to need a piece of cardstock paper, some craft tape or painter's tape, watercolor paint, and a few paintbrushes. So the first thing you want to do is take your paper and just fold it in half. So I'm using regular letter size cardstock paper. I purchased this at Office Supply. They have a variety pack that comes in different colors, which I found was really cute. If you look at this closely, it's a light pastel green color, and I really like that. Otherwise, you can just use regular color cardstock. Then you're gonna grab your craft tape and you're gonna go ahead and place the tape down, creating a triangle in the center of your card. A little bit more towards the top, leaving the bottom space to write Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas, or you can shift it downwards so you can write at the top. Then we're gonna take our spray bottle and we're gonna go ahead and spray our watercolor paint. If you guys watched my first episode, you'll see I like to wet my watercolor paint directly on the palette instead of dipping the paintbrush multiple times. So once you've decided what colors you're gonna use, you go ahead in with your paintbrush and get started, just creating strokes diagonally across like this. Now, if you watch closely, you'll see where on a few pieces I actually went over the edge of the tape. So be really careful not to do that. Because yeah, the idea is to keep all the paint within the middle of your tape. So we're gonna go ahead with some different colors here and just keep creating diagonal brush strokes until you fill the entire triangle. Once you're satisfied that you've filled the whole space, you can go ahead and remove the tape. Now, I learned from experience, even if the tape are stuck together, try to remove one piece of tape at a time instead of pulling them all off together, because then it kind of makes a mess. See right here, I left the tape together, and as you notice at the bottom, some of that paint from the tape got onto my card. So just be careful when you're taking the tape off. Try to take off one piece at a time. As you can see, like I showed you before, I kind of went a little overboard with my brush strokes, but that's okay. If you mess it up, remember, it's art. There's no wrong way to do art. So I just decided to do a few bits of paint splashes on the card as well, just to cover up my mistake. Alright guys, we're gonna move on to the second card. Do the same thing, fold your paper in half, get that ready, and this time, instead of putting the tape right in the center, I'm going to kind of go a little bit further. That way, the triangle will be more centered on the page and a little further downwards, so that I have a space at the top to add a star to the top of my tree. So we're gonna go ahead and put the tape on here. Now, when you're pressing the tape down, just be careful not to press it down too hard onto the paper, because then when you're removing it, you may actually remove some of your paper with it. So just lightly press that down, but you do want to press it down some because you don't want the watercolor paint to leak underneath the tape. So I have a paintbrush here that I actually cut some of the paintbrush off so that it would have jagged edges to create this sort of like multiple brush strokes all at once. That's what I'm going to use for this piece. So I just get my different colors and I start at the top and I leave a little space in between so it looks like little branches, little pine cone branches. And I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing that until I get to the bottom, leaving the space. Now, if you don't have a paintbrush like mine that you're willing to cut and create this effect, don't worry, you can use a really small paintbrush and just get in there and do little fine strokes to create the same effect. Different color green, and like I said, you don't have to use green, but I figured I would go with some traditional colors for my piece. But I've seen different variations where they use different color schemes, like different shades of blue, different shades of pink, and they look just as beautiful. So get creative and use whatever colors you want, mix it up, have fun, and just go in with different colors, creating those brush strokes until you've filled in all of your triangle, or until you're satisfied with how it looks. Now, when I was using the lighter color green, I had it a little bit too wet, so it kind of took out the brush strokes that I created with the darker color green. So I'm just going over it with my small paintbrush to kind of, I want to have like that look of like little tree branches. So I'm just going over it because I didn't really like how it turned out and it was really watery. But that's the good thing about it. You can always go over it, correct it, have fun with it. And this is a great craft to do with your kids. I would say kids as young as 3 and up can do this. You'd have to tape it for them, but just give them a paintbrush and let them have fun with it. Get creative, have fun with it, and then we're gonna go ahead and take our time again to peel off the tape once it's finished, and then I'll show you what's next. This is definitely my favorite part, taking off the tape, and I'm trying to be really careful this time so that I don't get spillage on the outside of the triangle. It's just so satisfying when you pull that tape off and you get that perfect straight line. And there you go, we have our Christmas tree. And I did a few trial runs of this where I painted a star at the top of the tree, and I really didn't like how it turned out. Painting a star is not that easy, so I just went and bought some stars stickers. Cheat code. And here you go. I placed my sticker at the top. I love a star at the top of my Christmas tree. Then if you want, you can leave it here, or you can write Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you want at the bottom. Have fun with it, like I said, especially if you're getting the kids involved. Let them write their own message on here and just have fun with it, guys.
Cayman Islands, you are invited to Anthems of Christmas. Join Sojourners in the excellence of Paul's Entertainment Ministries for a Christmas celebration at 131 McLennan Drive, Georgetown, the intergenerational hub, at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, December 23rd. Anthems of Christmas. Admission free. There'll be Christmas treats on sale. Come join us for Anthems of Christmas. This could be you. If you'd like a spot here on The Heartbeat, please contact me on WhatsApp at 917-2502, and let's set up an arrangement for you to get a spot to advertise your business.
We're gonna do the same thing again. I'm just showing you different variations of basically the same Christmas tree type card, but you can do so many different variations of this. Just get creative with it. So for this one, I'm using my spray bottle, and I'm going to spray some water directly onto the paper. You don't want the paper to be like soaking wet, but you do want to get quite a bit of water on there. And then you're just going to take your colors, I'm using green, and just dab them on there. And you'll get like this really nice watercolor effect where the paint kind of runs and flows with the water. And I just use different color greens, and I go in and I just keep dabbing, and sometimes I have to end up adding a little bit more water because it wasn't quite wet enough, and just keep going there with different colors, different shades of green, until like all the others we have our triangle filled. Or if you like, I could have even stopped here and left some of the space white, and I think that would have looked awesome as well. Get creative, put your own little twist to it, and then you have another Christmas card. So I'm just a little impatient, and I didn't wait for the paint to fully dry before taking off the tape, but I would recommend you guys waiting for the paint to fully dry, or at least dry a little bit more than what mine is, because you have a higher chance of the paint running and not getting that nice straight edge that is so satisfying when you peel the tape off. But here we go, I'm taking the tape off, and I'm gonna go ahead and splash some paint on here to give it that watercolor finish. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and use my cheat code and put a star sticker at the top, because guys, painting a star freehand is a lot more difficult than you think. There we go. That's another variation of the same type of card. Like I said, just get creative with it. And if you don't have watercolor paint, fear not. I'm going to show you one more variation where you can use markers, pencil crayons, anything that you have, pastels, anything that you have that can add some color to your piece, you can use. Just get creative with it. So here we go with our final variation of our Christmas card today, and I'm just using different shades of green again, but this time instead of using paint, I'm just using markers, doing some diagonal strokes across, changing up the colors, using a lighter color. You can use anything. Like I said, you can use pencil crayons. If you have little ones that are doing this, you can let them use crayons. And the brush strokes don't have to go diagonally. The lines don't have to go diagonally. They can go crisscross, up and down. If you have a really tiny kid at home that is like 2 or 3, just let them scribble. Tell them scribble color inside the triangle. And once you remove the tape, you're gonna have that satisfying straight edge, neat looking Christmas tree, and you can finish decorating your card. All right, everyone, I think you guys get the point that you can do so many different variations of this Christmas tree card. So we're gonna go ahead and move into the second part of the show now, where I'm gonna show you one more Christmas craft, and I'm sticking with the theme of Christmas trees. So for this second half, you're gonna need your cardstock paper again, some clear plastic cling wrap. You're also going to need some craft glue, but don't worry, if you don't have this type of craft glue, regular kids Elmer's glue will do as well. You're also gonna need some yarn or some twine, anything similar to yarn you can use. I'm going with white yarn just because my Christmas colors this year are white and red. You're gonna need some scissors and also these small fairy Christmas lights. And again, I just use red because red and white are my colors that I'm decorating with this year. And also, I forgot, you're gonna need some tape as well, just a little tiny piece of the tape. So we're gonna go ahead and get started by taking your paper at the corner all the way at the top and just rolling it into like a cone shape. So if you think about like one of those cone cups that you put snow cones in, that's kind of the shape you want. And you can make it as slim as you want, or you can make the cone a little bit fatter and shorter. You can do different sizes, different shapes, and create a nice little display, and you can do multiple. And then once you have it folded, you're just gonna take a small piece of tape and tape down the edge right here. Then we're gonna go ahead and grab our scissors and we're gonna cut off the bottom of the cone so that it's straight and able to stand up. So we're gonna cut it at the bottom because we want this to be able to stand up on its own. So here we go, I'm just cutting kind of as straight as I can across the bottom so that our triangle cone can stand up on its own. So not quite. So I'm gonna go again and just trim a little bit more off because we really need it to be able to stand up on its own. There we go. Even if it's slanted a little bit, as long as it can stand on its own, it should be fine. Then we're gonna go ahead and grab our cling wrap, and we want to take off a big chunk of cling wrap and we want to cover the entire thing with cling wrap. So you're gonna get a big piece of cling wrap and make sure we go ahead and cover the whole thing here. So I don't use any tape to secure the cling wrap, I just let it cling to itself, right? So just go ahead and wrap the entire cone all the way around. It doesn't have to be flat and smooth, just make sure the entire piece of your cardstock paper is covered. Alright, so once we have that covered, we're gonna grab our yarn or your twine, whatever you're using, and your glue, and you're gonna just dab a little bit of the glue at the top to start. You don't have to put the glue all the way down just yet. You just want a little dab of glue at the top to secure the first piece of yarn. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and take the yarn or the twine and wrap it all the way around the cone. Now, you guys, I struggled with this a little bit. So if you have a hot glue gun, perhaps for this first part, when you're starting it, you can use a little tiny dot of the hot glue gun, but you don't want to use a lot, just a little tiny bit, because you'll see once we're finished, we're going to remove the cling wrap, which is why you don't necessarily want to use the hot glue for the entire thing. But when you're starting it, you can use the hot glue gun at the top. But if you just have the regular craft glue like me, I just held the top of it while I wrapped it. Now, if you guys are doing this and you find an easier way to wrap the twine around, please drop it in the comments, because I struggled a little bit with this, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, keep going. You're gonna wrap the you're gonna wrap the yarn all the way around, but you don't want to cover it completely. You don't want to cover the entire space. You want to make sure that there are little pieces left, like that you could see through. You don't want it to be completely covered in the yarn. So one of the things that I wanted to accomplish with my show, when I'm showing you guys these little crafts and these little simple art pieces, I intentionally, like, I could have just sped this whole thing up, fast forward right to the end, ta-da, everything is finished. But I wanted to show you from start to finish all the things that you'll need for the craft. One, because a lot of time you see these like 30-second reels on Pinterest or Instagram, and it's like, okay, that looks nice, but what exactly do I need to complete this craft or this art piece? So I wanted to show you guys exactly what you need to complete the piece. And I also wanted to show you guys that it's okay if you're struggling like me. I was really struggling trying to wrap this yarn around, but it's fine. Like, I wanted to show the raw, kind of unedited version of creating the craft versus a 30-second reel, and then when you try to do it, you're like, am I crazy? Is something wrong with me? Why is this not working out the way that I want it to? And I also wanted to give you guys tips on what to do and what not to do. So once you've completed wrapping the yarn all the way around, what you're gonna do is take your craft glue or your Elmer's glue, and you're going to cover the entire thing with glue. I mean, guys, just get the glue all on there. There's no such thing as using too much glue. Just get it all over. As much glue as you possibly can until the entire thing is covered with glue. Then you're gonna leave it overnight to dry. And once it's dry, you're gonna come back to it the next day. So I've done one already. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and take the piece of cardstock paper. It should come right out of there from the cling wrap. Then you're gonna take the cling wrap, and this one will be a little bit harder to come out because of the glue, but you're gonna remove the cling wrap as well. Once you have the cling wrap removed, your piece should be able to stand up like this. It's okay if it's a little slanted, but as long as it can stand up on its own, it'll be fine. I promise the end result will look great. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your fairy lights and you're just gonna push them all the way to the top of your tree. Again, if you guys find an easier way to do this, please drop it in the comments below if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, because I kind of struggled a little bit with this part as well. But just push the lights all the way to the top and you have two Christmas trees that make a wonderful decor piece. If you want, you can also add some other finishing touches to it. I chose not to, but you can add little jewels and beads on the outside to look like Christmas ornaments, and then little stars or toppers at the top as well. Thanks for watching. Keep creating, keep exploring, and we'll catch you